Welcome, Locksmithing Innovations, the channel that's about tools, tips, and tricks. This is Jeff. If you're returning and a subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you're new, hope you like the content and subscribe, like, comment, dislike. This week's subject is regarding removing screws. Basically, when we rekey mortise cylinders, we get all different quality and brands. Sometimes the screws have been stripped out a bit on the heads by other technicians previously, and sometimes they're just seized right in there. And in order to get the job completed, we have to get those screws out to be able to rekey the locks. I'm going to show you 5 methods on removing them, and also I'd like to also add to it, I always research before I put content on, because the reason for it is I want to bring new, interesting, and material that has been shown on YouTube before. Maybe you're an apprentice, maybe you're starting out on your own after taking some courses, or for whatever reason you might be a seasoned locksmith and you might get some good value and good content out of the 5 different methods. So while I'm researching YouTube for it, I found a channel where a guy was talking about Sergeant Mortise locks. I watched the video because I wanted to make sure I wasn't duplicating what he's already shown. He wasn't showing anything about removing the screws, but during his video he talked about a Sergeant key and knob cylinder or key and lever cylinder that was 0 pinned, and he made a mistake and he said, you know, it had top pins only, no bottom pins. And one of the viewers had commented and picked up on the fact, no, it actually has 0 pins for bottom pins, 0 depth pins for bottom pins. The producer of the video never commented back. The reason why I'm bringing this subject up is not to ditch this guy. We're all capable of making mistakes. If I make a mistake on a video, I want people to comment to get the record straight, so that the content out there is good content for people to absorb. So if you find me making a mistake on a video, please comment. I will thank you very much for setting the record straight. We are all capable of it. And we all know a 0 pin lock has bottom pins, not just top pins. So let's go forward. Basically, first out of the 5 methods is definitely your screwdriver. We all take these apart every day with our screwdriver. Sometimes they have Phillips, sometimes they have flats, and if the screws are in good shape, we're just going to get the job done lickety split, and out will come those screws, and away you go. I just trying to just take the screw out just enough to, there we go. You can take the other one out just as easy. Now, speaking of method number 1, screwdriver, there are these devices that are made, okay. This particular one is the only one I found online this morning. Lockpicks.com. It's a spin-out mortise cylinder screwdriver tool. I've seen them made by different companies and offered over the years. Your mortise cylinder goes underneath. You can change your tip if it starts to wear out. And obviously in this bushing here, it'll go up and down. You can turn it out. Lockpicks.com is selling this one for $99.95 US dollars. I've never owned one, never really used one, I don't think, in my years of locksmithing. I don't remember a shop that's had one. If you have one of these and swear by it and think it's the greatest thing, please comment, please let me know. I am definitely interested in knowing if these are worth the $100. Well, for us Canadians, it's going to be probably, with shipping and everything else, probably up in around $130, $140. But I would certainly like to know if someone thinks this is a worthwhile tool to have. Okay, so that's the screwdriver method. Okay, when I first started in the field, we all carried these because we were told that in order to keep the screws from working their way out, we should center punch that screw in 2 different places. And the easiest way of center punching it is using one of these automatic center punches. So not only were we able to center punch it, but if this tool has a sharp tip, right now mine doesn't, you can also use it to try to work the screw around, and be very careful because if it slips, it's going to stab you. And yeah, see right there. So you can also try to use that to get a screw loose, work it loose and work it around. That method we use on the shear-off head bolts on the Honda ignition housing when we want to remove them from the steering wheel. Now I use a punch and a hammer, not the auto punch, although I have used an auto punch. But that method we use to get those turning. Also, I was correctional locksmith, detention locksmith, whatever you want to call it, for a while. And the old prison locks would have the shear-off bolt heads. First of all, you'd normally have to take a torch to take the 20 layers of paint off of it first, but then you would punch it out when you need to service it or change the levers in the lock to rekey it. So we got method 1, screwdriver, method 2. Method 3, the old reliable Dremel with the cutoff disc on it. Always worked well because it also heats up the screw. And basically take any one of our screwdrivers at this point, flat screwdrivers, and just turn that out like that, and there you go. Okay, so that's method 3. Now method 4, we're going to say the one on the right here we can't get out, so I always like to take the one that will come out first in this method. This is a method I don't use that often, but when needed I use it. And that is method number 4, drilling the head off of it. You want to drill just enough that the head's going to come off. There we go, head's off. So hopefully, if that procedure's done right, I can now have a stud, which I do. You can see it sticking up there. Hopefully that's focus enough to see it right there on the surface, sticking up about the height of my screwdriver there. Then what you do is you take vice grips and you get a little turn every time. Actually, I think my vice grips just need a little more tightening there. And as you keep turning, eventually it gets loose enough that you can keep working it out. Let's see if we can get her. No, not yet. Not quite yet. And this is not ever my first choice, but it does work. That screw is coming loose. It's coming out higher. I can see it. And sometimes, actually, and I've actually seen people use the erasers on the end of a pencil at this point to push really hard down on that screw, and you're able to turn it out because the eraser will get up into the burred metal. And if you have a pencil around with a old rubber eraser on it, you push down hard enough, you can also turn it out with that. And there we go. I just didn't remember that till just now, or I would have had one around just to show you how well that works as well. Screws out. Okay, so that's method number 4. So we have 1, screwdriver, 2, punch, 3, dremel, 4, drill, and vice grips. Now, method number 5 I came across a little while ago, and I was in one of my local tool stores, and I bought some of this stuff. And by the way, they say to shake it well first. It's called screw grab. Screw grab removes or tightens strip screws. The model is 94207 SGX2. It's made by Bondis USA, and what it says is a single dab of screw grab creates a positive grip between the metal surfaces. Test is shown as high as 800% that virtually eliminates tool wear and rounding and deforming fasteners. For anybody that is in Canada, I found this in a store up here that a lot of us always travel to during our journeys, and that's called Princess Automotive. Cost $14 in tax. You can see I got a dab of it there, and I just don't want to slobber too much, so I got a little applicator here. Whoops. I got a little applicator here, and there you go. I've got a bunch of it right on the screw. This does not dry, does not stay on the screw or the tool, doesn't coat it and stay there, so it's not something that you got to worry about gluing on the head of your screw or your screwdriver. Now, what you're going to hear here, going to hear a gritting noise there, hopefully. I believe this has like a diamond dust in the compound, and that's what gives it its grip. It worked like hot darn the first time I ever used it before going to the dremel or the drill. I couldn't get the screw out with the screwdriver or the punch. So I remembered I had bought this and put it inside my truck and I says, well, why don't we give it a try? Sure enough, the screw that wouldn't come out came out with this. Obviously we can use it as well to take other fasteners out, other screws, because a lot of times we're having a lot of that situation on thresholds and that after they go through a winter, especially people in the northern climate, even in the States in the normal northern climates, they get a lot of snow and a lot of cold. Not only us up here in Canada, but your northern states get the same thing. Screws end up getting a lot of rustiness in them and that. So this stuff might work on that too. Now, one other thing I'm going to want to try it on, and I hope it will work, is I bought the Honda Acura ignition roll pin removal kit by the great guys at Loctech that make fine tools. I own many of them and that. But the one tool, I don't think it's their fault, that I own that I haven't had a lot of success with is this kit here, this roll pin kit. I've only once ever successfully pulled a roll pin out with this, and it might be that the Honda plant in Canada here, Alliston, Canada, uses a harder grade roll pin, so it doesn't flare out as much with the ice pick. It also might mean that the harder grade, it's more stronger and doesn't want to have stuff grip to it as much as a softer grade roll pin. Maybe that's the reason why. But what I'm going to try next time is I'm going to take this like little brush applicator here I buy from hobby stores. I'm going to put some of it. Now, as you can see there in the video, you should be able to see a split between that tube there. That's how this grabs onto the roll pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this paste and I'm going to put her down in that tube. So when I grab onto the roll pin, and once you cinch this up, get that around your roll pin and cinch this up, it closes it up. And then once you close it up, then it joins both tubes to do the pulling process through threads. So I'm hoping if this diamond paste works that good, that it'll grab onto that roll pin even tighter and better and allow it to be pulled out more successfully. And if that case be it, I will keep a little applicator in my kit, as well as some of the screw grab from Bondis. The concept is great. I also have rips that threads in. I like both of them, although I broke a tap in rips, but I now have replacement taps. But I've had success with rips as well. That's your video for this week. More exciting videos to come on tools that I have already designed and used for years, and ones I'm working on that I'm sure you guys will enjoy. Please leave some comments. Please tell everybody that you know the other locksmiths, and follow the channel. Thank you very much, and stay well, stay safe everyone. Thank you.